I just got to interview two of the lead developers on Star Wars Outlaws and got to play the game early at a special event in LA. I asked the devs a few questions about the open world, as well as how the wanted system works and whether it's like a GTA style game, and then also got into some fun rapid fire style questions later on. If you'd like to see my full review of Star Wars Outlaws after playing the game, go check that out on my main channel. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy the interview. Thank you, lovely to meet you both. Could you just start by introducing yourselves and tell me what you do?
Yeah, I'm Naveed Khabari. I'm the narrative director of Star Wars Outlaws.
Thank you.
And I'm Matthias Carlson. I'm game director on Star Wars Outlaws.
Okay, cool. What was the main inspiration behind wanting to make an open world Star Wars game? Why open world over perhaps just like third person action adventure kind of thing?
It's a good question, but I think there are a few different aspects there. I feel like we always had this game in us, like getting to work with this IP, the Star Wars world. For us, making it an open world experience and really, really grounding you into this world of Star Wars, not an authored roller coaster ride where we only show you what we want to show you exactly. We want to feel like you're in that world that you, I think, for a lot of people dreamt of exploring, going to Jabba's palace on Tatooine, seeing completely new places, new creations like the Shard that we created that massive together with Lucasfilm, and the bring it that really lived in detailed authenticity. Together with Lucasfilm again, they were really critical there. For us, felt like the ultimate way of experiencing this character and this story, and the gameplay that we want to put forth. The world and the underworld.
Yes. Right? I think as well, there's just, with Massive, there's an expertise there in developing open world games that I know is really exciting for us and exciting for Lucasfilm to, we described it as you get to step into Star Wars, right? Like this is the game I know as a kid, like when I was 6 years old, that I wish I could have had, and I think especially once we had sort of figured out with Lucasfilm the era that we were going to play in, it became a no-brainer, right? To be able to, like you said, explore Jabba's palace, but also there's no better feeling than jumping on your speeder and just taking across the savannah of Tashara and then hopping to your ship and jumping from one planet to the next. Sure. Like it's
literally at your fingertips.
Yeah, exactly. It feels so great.
Yeah. Well, honestly, that's something I feel like we haven't really seen in Star Wars before. There hasn't really been a proper open world Star Wars game where you can go just explore the galaxy, which is like the ultimate fantasy, right? How much do you think it's inspired the actual gameplay? How much freedom are you giving players within that open world?
As much as we can. It's really about filling it with things that pique your curiosity, that has genuine value to you and interest. Size in itself has not been the guiding light. It's about adapting the size to a sense of true freedom with substance. The story and the narrative thrust of the game is, I think, beautifully harmonizing as the kind of engine of the experience, but it's always surrounded with a lot of freedom for you as a player to explore and to enjoy this range. I think was really important for us as well from the beginning, to be literally in an event on foot together with Nyx, full-on thieving, infiltrating maybe an Imperial compound, all the way up to flying your ship, but having agency in that whole range.
Yeah, and I think as playing as Kay, this sort of street thief who has takes on one job that doesn't go like she planned, and then finds herself with a bounty on her back and quite literally thrown into the underworld. She's a rookie at this as well, and I think what felt really natural is that she's experiencing this open world just as the players are experiencing this underworld open world. That's a tongue twister. At the same time, right? And I think it was always very important to us that felt like you're on this journey with Kay, that she is going to try and pull off the heist of a lifetime to lose this bounty and secure her freedom. But at the same time, we always talked about engaging with the curiosity of the player. So, as you're going along that journey, if you, run into experts along the way who can help bolster your skills and your abilities, that's encouraged, right? We want you to dive into the open world as much as possible.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. A lot of people talk about wanting like a Jedi or a Sith game, you know what I mean? And every Star Wars game needs a lightsaber, which I completely disagree with. But can you talk to me a bit about your motivation behind, I guess, making a game that's about maybe a smaller character in Star Wars, or not someone who's not, like a big, powerful Jedi? You know what I mean?
You're asking my favorite question. So I think, I know that we have had some wonderful properties in Star Wars that told the Jedi story, that talked about the Sith, that, you know, you got to experience the rebellion, for example. And I think when we landed on the scoundrel fantasy and wanting to tell a scoundrel story with Kay, what was actually really exciting was, hey, this is a person on the ground that has no control over what's happening above. And that in itself is very relatable, you know, and that's something that's sort of an in, so to speak, for all of us, I think, to feel even more included into what's going on in that galaxy. And so it was really such an interesting sort of moment where her story almost naturally unfolded from that inflection point of like, wow, okay, so she's not in that world. What world is she in? Oh, she's in the underworld. Well, what haven't we seen in the underworld? And what does that mean for someone trying to navigate syndicates and that kind of thing? So it was really exciting for us.
Yeah, and I think that the journey of growth you speak about and the relatability also really connects very naturally with a journey of growth in gameplay and abilities. And Cade has almost nothing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She has Nyx and their, you know, ways of working together, getting by as street thieves and counterbite. And you will grow in your collaboration with Nyx. You will grow the capabilities of your blaster, your skills, tools and abilities, getting a ship, getting a speeder. And I think we really wanted this to harmonize between Kay's perspective and the players. So the second you leave counterbite, you're seeing this world together for the first time.
Yeah, nice.
And even as, I think, as fans of Star Wars, you have this interesting dynamic where if we go to Tatooine, you know more about that place than Kay does. Right?
Sure.
So you seeing her first time experience into a place where you have probably a lot more deeper knowledge, and at the same time we get to take you to brand new places that have never been shown before in the world of Star Wars.
And I'll just quickly add what's really exciting as well is because we're on this sort of rookie scoundrel journey, you don't necessarily need to be a Star Wars expert to follow what's going on. Like all those details, all that lore, hopefully you saw when you were playing the love that went into all of that.
Yeah.
It's critical. It's a critical piece. But because she's experiencing this world a bit for the first time, it's anyone can experience that
I
world.
honestly got a sense of that playing it today.
That's
and
great.
Felt like it's really refreshing to see a game about Star Wars that's not just about this, you know, giant character who's involved in these massive events in the galaxy, right? It's like this is a smaller story. It's more relatable in some ways, like you were saying. That part of it's really refreshing. Could you talk to me a bit about some of the games that might have influenced this? I know so Outlaws has a wanted level, which is also quite a new system, I guess, for a Star Wars game. I don't recall another Star Wars game with that. Can you talk to me a bit about what influenced that and maybe some of the other games that went into developing that?
I think, honestly, we really started from, okay, what's the game we want to make? What do we know well with our background as a team, as a studio, and, you know, all the content partners we have in Ubisoft? And then starting from the world and from the characters and from the narrative. And really work our way back from the fact that in the example of the wanted system, we're right in that pocket in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Fantastic era for us.
Yeah.
And that's the height of Imperial power, almost. Right? So, of course, we felt like surrounding like an umbrella, all of this navigating the syndicates, the spinning plates of, you know, opportunity and threat, ebb and flow of the factions, the syndicates and the reputation you have with them. The Empire is always there. They're the space cops.
Sure.
You know, and if you break the rules, they're going to come after you. So we can create incentives to do so, and then you get to deal with the outcome and the repercussions, and it becomes not just believable and immersive, but a toy in itself.
Yeah, and I think also the benefit of coming to be sort of the first open world action adventure Star Wars game, it allowed us to kind of open up our imagination to sort of defining whatever that would be, right? And that was just incredibly exciting. And I always go back to the words like organic, authentic, you know, just everything flowing naturally from that. So
nice. Yeah, cool. I'm going to ask you a few Star Wars related questions.
Okay.
I don't know if that's cool.
We'll do our
personal
best.
Stuff. Yeah,
sure.
Okay. All right, so can you each answer what's your favorite Star Wars film?
Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back.
Okay. Jedi or Sith?
Jedi.
Scoundrel or Bounty Hunter?
Scoundrel.
Okay. What's the first game you ever worked on?
First game I ever worked on, Dungeons and Dragons Daggerdale.
Wow.
Which I don't think you can find anymore. Oh, I don't know. 2009, I think.
Okay.
It wasn't that far back. My beard belies that.
World in conflict.
Okay.
Real-time strategy.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Wow. What's the first Star Wars game you ever played?
Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah, nice.
What's it called? The TIE Fighter game.
Actually, no, that's not true. I played Super Star Wars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before that.
Nice. Yeah, cool. Okay.
I love those. They were so hard, though. But
Yeah,
anyway.
they're
I'm terrible with names.
Yeah,
But the
yeah.
one where you fly a TIE Fighter.
yeah, TIE Fighter.
Oh,
It's
TIE
just called
Fighter.
Fighter. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, an X-wing. Okay, yeah. Now we're
Yeah. What's your favorite Star Wars film?
Empire
Oh, we
Strikes
said
Back.
that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
All right,
That's
next.
I can say it. I don't mind saying it
Favorite Star
again.
Wars character. Favorite Star Wars character.
Ooh, Han Solo. I started out with Luke, and then I moved to Han.
Well, that's quite fitting for the game.
I think so. Yeah.
I have a.
I know what yours is. I know exactly.
It's Max Rebo.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's a great choice.
I love
I
it.
just love him so
love
much.
it.
Yeah.
What would you say is the hardest part about making Outlaws?
Great question.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
If you'd like, you can answer it. in
I
one
think I'm a writer, so you're not going to get that. But I think I wouldn't say it's the hardest part. I think it's the most rewarding part. I'm going to flip it a little bit. Sorry, is when I found out I was going to be working on a Star Wars game, you always have that moment of shock, right? You're like, okay, this is happening. I blasted the theme music. I went and got a shawarma. It was amazing.
Yeah.
But realizing that I had to sort of, and I think all of us did, put that a bit on the shelf and say, okay, well, what are we actually bringing that's new to this? And what story are we trying to tell? That was the most rewarding thing. And that's where all the love and passion and energy went into, is like, how can we add to this universe as opposed to, copying what's come before, that kind of thing.
I think it's similar for me, and it was the biggest challenge, but also some of the most fun. Genuinely, where we couldn't have done it without Lucasfilm being our guides, there's so much to draw from. So once you've locked in on like, okay, this is our fantasy, this is our main character, this is what we want to do, knowing where to stop.
Yeah.
Just like, okay, this is what really naturally makes sense and connects, and I really hope players will feel that of course we're going to these places, even the ones we invented ourselves, and exploring the themes that we do.
Yeah, nice. Nice. I have another Star Wars question. Who shot first?
Han.
On.
Okay. I really like Harrison Ford's answer. Have you seen that clip of him?
No, I haven't.
Someone asks him and he says, I don't care.
Yeah, no, I did see that. Yeah, that's right. I do care.
All right, last question. If you could only choose to watch one trilogy for the rest of your life, prequels, sequels, or original, which would it be?
Original.
Okay, awesome.
It's a bit boring that we
Sorry,
same
yeah.
answers on every single
That's a good answer.
We're spending too much time together, I think.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much. It was
It's a
lovely.
pleasure.
Lovely
These
to
are
meet
great
you both.
questions.
Thank you for the chat. I appreciate it. And all the best with the game.
Thank you
Really
so
excited
much.
to play more of it. Yeah.
Great, yeah.
Thank you. Awesome.
Thank you.
Cool. All right.
Cool.